Hey y'all, we're in a new decade. My question for you is, are you still drinking milk from cows? Are you still consuming dairy? If so, take a seat, sis, because we need to talk. Welcome to my channel, Epi Vibes, the channel where we strive to become our healthiest selves. And if it is the case that you are still either drinking milk or consuming dairy, then hopefully I can propose a case for you to reconsider that decision. Let's get started. The first thing to consider is that milk has saturated fat, and saturated fat can contribute to weight gain. That's if you're drinking that full fat milk. That's the type of milk that I used to love. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna drink milk, you better believe it's gonna be full fat, full creaminess. I'm going to enjoy it. None of this skim milk. But if you are drinking skim milk, good on you. Or even fat reduced. Because that's what the government recommends. So it should be good for you, right? Well, if you consider statistics from health.gov, 70% of Americans already are exceeding the amount of recommended sugar every single day. Do you really want your extra sugar coming from watery milk? You could instead have 2 cups of broccoli, which is going to give you just as much calcium, except it's also going to be packed with a whole bunch of extra nutrients and goodness that's going to fill you up, including calcium. I would go with the broccoli myself. The second thing to consider is that whether it's extra saturated fat or even extra calories that don't get burned off in the day, you might gain weight from consuming dairy products. And this can possibly become a problem if you are trying to conceive, in that if your BMI is above 30, you're at risk for infertility. And the more body fat you have, the more estrogen and testosterone is rampant in your bloodstream. And this can throw off your body's hormonal balance. This would undermine your efforts, perhaps, to conceive. So just eliminate dairy to be on the safe side. You don't need that added struggle. The next thing to consider is where your people are from. If you are not of European descent, the chances are that you are lactose intolerant.
The Lancet.com featured this article exploring lactose malabsorption around the world. So we see that this blue, dark blue color represents the lowest amounts of lactose malabsorption. And as we move down the color spectrum to the color red, that represents the highest prevalence of malabsorption. And it looks like the areas of the globe that are most affected would be sub-Saharan Africa as well as Asia. And here are some of the estimates of lactose malabsorption. So overall, the global prevalence is estimated to be about 68%. In the continent of Asia, it's estimated to be around 64%. Sub-Saharan Africa, between 77 and 100%. And so we're all affected by dairy differently.
How do you know if you're lactose intolerant? Well, there's a couple things. When you eat dairy, when you drink milk, is there a little party that happens in celebration in your stomach? A type of party that makes you need to use the bathroom? That could be one indicator that you are lactose intolerant. In all seriousness, gas, bloating, headaches, nausea, some people get acne, they break out all on their face and in their shoulders. These are some symptoms of being lactose intolerant. If you're really not sure, there are some tests that your doctors can run in order to determine if you are lactose intolerant. Pay attention to your body and how it responds, because for the most part, it's going to give you a clue as to what to do. I was the type of person, y'all, that used to drink a gallon of milk from dairy, from cows, every single week, all by myself. And your girl was lactose intolerant. So instead of me taking the hit from my body, I would just go out and purchase items that didn't have any lactose in them, that would allow me to continue to consume the things that I should not consume. So instead of taking special pills before you consume dairy, instead of you buying the special milk that doesn't include lactose, Take it as a sign from nature that is not for you. It's not for you. It's for baby cows. We are not baby cows. There are other ways for us humans to get our calcium in. Maybe you're thinking that you know about the My Plate recommendations to actually consume dairy on a regular basis. I would argue that this recommendation is either a tad bit Eurocentric or just straight up racist. The point is that most Americans that are not of European descent are lactose intolerant, and we should not be consuming that. So it is irresponsible for the government to make those recommendations and not add in those caveats or provide people with the information that they need in order to do what's right by their bodies. So listen to your body, double check all of the information that comes to you, and just make sure that it is something that is beneficial to your health and your people. So what's the deal with the milk recommendation anyway, right? The primary reason why it's recommended that people consume milk is to get calcium. And we're in luck because just like cows get their calcium from the plants that they consume, we can get calcium from the plants that we choose to consume. Let me name off a few plants to give you an example. Leafy green vegetables are your friend. I'm talking kale, bok choy, seaweed, but try it, it's actually pretty good. Collard greens, lentils, beans, nuts, and there's way more that I'm missing, but if you do a little bit more research, you will have a list. There's a plethora of ways to get calcium that has nothing to do with cows. Ooh, I hate to take it to this place, but I have to. You are contributing to an industry that is no good for our environment.
Right now we're looking at an infographic by the World Resources Institute. It shows the resources that go into the production of animal-based products versus plant-based products. So what you'll see represented by the bars are land use, freshwater consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions. We can tell that it takes way more resources from our precious earth to produce animal-based products than plant-based products.
Think ahead to the future. What kind of planet would you like the next generations to inherit? Also, this is the exciting part. The exciting part is that you have the opportunity to go discover things you never knew that you loved. So try out all of the different types of plant-based alternatives. There is all these different types of ice creams that you can possibly consume. There's dairy alternative cheeses, all types of cheese, hard fancy cheese, ricotta-like cheese, the cheese that you would put on a pizza. All of these things exist in plant-based form.
Yes.
Some of them you're gonna love, and some of them you are going to hate. But go on this adventure. I bet you will find things that you did not even know that you loved. I know that was short and quick. Hopefully I was able to convince you to drop the dairy. Hopefully. Leave in the comment section below about what your favorite dairy alternatives are so that other people can try out some really good things as well. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful, tremendous, glorious, dairy-free day.